Hey everybody, and welcome back to another technology class with Mr. C. This class is for my second graders. However, anybody is welcome to join in. If you need to brush up on some Google Docs, or you just want to learn a new skill. Today we're going to be learning how to make a bulleted list. So making bulleted lists in Google Docs. First thing you're going to need is access to that Google Doc that I shared out with my second graders. If you are not one of my second graders and you would like the document, shoot me an email and I'll share it out with you. Or you can just go along with me on the YouTube video. Outstanding. Let's head on over to my Chromebook and let's get started on how to make bulleted lists in Google Docs. Hello again, second graders. This is Mr. Carey coming back to you with another technology lesson in Google Docs. Today we're going to learn how to make lists. Now, if you do not have this document up, remember you're going to go to Google Drive, and let's go ahead and do that now just to show you one more time. We're going to go to my Google Drive, and I have to go through a couple things that you guys don't have to do. I'm going to switch to my school account, and boom. All right, here is my Google Drive. This is one way you can find shared documents. So you're going to go over here to your left, and you see my drive. You might not see computers, but you will see shared with me. Remember, click on shared with me, and you should be able to see my name right here somewhere with my little Star Trek avatar. And then that will be, the title will be Bulleted Lists in Docs right up here. Okay, once you've opened that, once you've found that, remember, we need to make a copy of this because I shared this out with you view only. So again, one more time, let's go up here. We're going to go to File. We're going to click File. Then we're going to scroll down here to make a copy. Let's go ahead and make a copy. Now, this is going to say copy of bulleted list in Docs. Remember, we want to name this something that we're going to remember it with our name. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to select that. Remember, I'm going to click and I'm going to drag it. And then you can either click backspace, or if you just want to start typing your name. So I'm going to write Mr. C bulleted lists in Docs. Once you have that, go ahead and click OK. You don't have to put your first and last name. Again, I'm just giving you tools for how to name your documents so you'll find them easier. So if you like to put your first and last name, hey, that works for me too. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And boom, here we are. Now you should be able to edit this document. So the whole point of this lesson is to learn how to make a list in Google Docs. Why would we want to make a list? Well, one, this paragraph explains a little bit. Sometimes if you're just making a list of things to do, it's helpful not to have it all smashed together in a paragraph, kind of like this. So I'm making a list to go camping, and it's really hard for me to read this and figure out what I need. It looks like just one long sentence. We're going to learn how to break that up into lists, which is going to be really cool. Another reason I'll show you at the end of this, when you start writing book reports or essays or anything, if you need to write a report on something, you're going to write an outline. I'm going to show you how to write an outline using lists, and it's super cool. All right, wait for that at the end. Anyway, let's scroll up here, or take our mouse up here, and I'm going to show you two buttons that we're going to use for lists. Okay, don't click on them. I just need you to take your cursor, and does everyone see where it says 1, 2, 3, and then you see the lines there? All right, so that are number lists. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to click. Does everyone see that little down arrow? Looks like an upside down triangle. Go go ahead and click on that, and don't do anything else. I just want you to look, right? So when you click that button, when you select one of these, it's going to put different lines, and they're going to be set off by 1, and then A, B, and then if you keep going further, I, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4. There's another way you can have them with parentheses. You can have them with 1, 1.1, 1.2. A lot of these things you're probably never going to use. Some of them you may use all the time, but this is a numbered list, and this is really, really helpful. For one, if you're doing things in numbers, right? If you're doing, let's say, a spelling test, instead of having to type the number in, it'll automatically do it for you. Cool. Let's go over to my next one. Let's go ahead and click anywhere. I'm going to click up here. And now I'm going to go up here. Does everyone see where it says the dots with 3 lines? All right, so these 3 dots with the 3 lines, that's a bulleted list. So these little dots are called bullets. And let's go ahead and see that upside down triangle. We're going to click on that again. And these are the different bullet points that you can use to make lists. These are useful for making lists or doing a list of items within a report if you don't want to use numbers. Again, some of these you'll never use. Some of these you'll use all the time. It really just goes to a matter of what you like. I personally use this all the time. Every once in a while, I'll use the boxes. Again, if you like the stars and the circles and the squares, that's what you can do. But we're going to get a chance to use all of them. Okay, go ahead and click anywhere. I'm going to go put my mouse up here. I'm just going to click. All right, let's look at how we do that first. All right, so I'm going to take my cursor and I'm going to click right here next to swim. So our instructions are separate these things into a list and put a bullet point next to each one. Try different bullet points using the pull down tab. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and take our mouse and we're going to go ahead or our cursor, I'm using a mouse. We're going to click right next to swim. Now we're going to start with the bullet points. Remember, those are the circles with the 3 lines. And let's go ahead and we're just going to click it just to see what happens. Ready and go. Pretty cool, right? It automatically puts a bullet point, and then what it does is it pushes everything from here to here. I say pushes it. The actual term is called indenting. It brings it over so it's not in line with this. Now, a question is going to be, well, do we have to click that for every single thing? No, we don't. And here's why. Go back up here and you see the 3 dots and the 3 lines. You see how they're selected? That means Google Docs is ready for you to make a list. So all you have to do, we're going to take our cursor, click in front of suit. Actually, swimsuit is one word. I think swimsuit's one word. I'm going to make it one word. We're going to go to socks. Go ahead and click in front of socks. And now I want you to go to your keyboard and click enter. Ready? And boom. Look at that. It automatically does it for you, which is really cool. Let's go ahead and go down to pajamas. Press enter on your keyboard. Boom. Go to shorts, click enter. And this is a really helpful thing. One, you don't have to think about putting a dot there. It automatically does it for you. So it really saves a lot of time. So go ahead right now, and we're going to do the whole list in our circle bullet points. And then we're going to go up and we're going to change them. And we're going to play around with this a little bit. Go in front of shirts, click enter. Oh, I'm going to go in front of shirts, click enter. I'm going to go in front of shoes, click enter. Go in front of pillow, click enter. Now, I made a mistake a couple lines ago, and I want to use it as a learning point. So I'm going to go in front of blanket. But let's say I misclick and I put it in front of the B and the L. Watch what happens when I click enter. Uh-oh, I have pillow, B, and blanket. So I don't want that. So there's 2 things you can do. Number 1, remember, if you ever want to undo something, what button should you press? That's right, the undo button right there. So I'm going to go ahead and click undo. That's the quickest way it's going to get you back to normal. Let's say you forget that, right? Well, what you can do is you can go to your keyboard and click backspace. And what it's going to do is it erases the bullet point. You're going to click backspace again, and then you got to click backspace one more time. Okay, that's kind of the long way to do it. I personally prefer, I make a mistake, I go to undo, boom, it's like it never happened. So let's go in front of blanket, enter, football, enter, frisbee, enter. Cool. Now, let's see if we can change what the bullet points look like. So right now we have our nice dark circles. Let's say I want to change it to something else. Let's see if it will do that. So go ahead and take your cursor and go up to that upside down triangle and let's change it to, oh, I don't know, stars seem really fun. Go ahead and click stars. Ready? And look at that. It automatically changes all of them, which is really cool, right? So I don't have to go through and redo my list and delete everything and undo. It's really cool how that works. Let's try another one. Let's go to our arrows. 1, 2, 3. Cool, right? Let's go to our boxes. 1, 2, 3. And then let's go to our, I would call those arrows, but they're like kind of really cool arrows. I don't know what to call them. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, that looks cool. Let's do our last one. It looks like a diamond with a cool arrow in a box. 1, 2, 3. Pretty cool, right? Now, I want you to pick one, and I'm going to go with the stars, right? Because I think they look pretty cool. Now, a question is going to come up is, but I don't understand, Mr. Carey, well, how do I get those little circles in that little box right there? I mean, that's not showing up. Okay, so what that is, and I'm going to go back up here and show you. These are different kinds of lists, right? And we would do them from, let's say, most important to like either least important or really big details to small details, okay? So for example, let's do this. Let me show you something. Okay, if I'm going to bring a football, what else should I bring? Let's say I want to play football at camp. I don't know if the camp, or the camping trip. I want to do more than just play football and just throw a football around. I want to play an actual game. So what are some things I would need to bring if I wanted to play a game of football? Okay, let's say we're going to play flag football. Here we go. Let's go ahead and put flags. So go ahead and click on your keyboard, press enter, and you see what's going to happen. You see it adds a new bullet there. Okay, but I don't want it as a separate thing. I want it as a thing that goes under football, right? Something that goes with the football. So what you're going to do is go to your keyboard and look for the tab button, T-A-B, tab. Go ahead and press tab. Ooh, that was pretty cool, right? It turned the star into a circle. So what that's going to tell me is within a football, I'm going to need to bring these things if I want to play football. So let's go ahead and put flags. Now check this out. Go ahead and click or press enter. So now Google Docs remembers, oh, you want to do what we would call the second list. I would call this the first list, second, and then if I want to go one more, which we'll do, that'll be the third list. Flags. How about a kicking tee? I'll say kicking tee if we're going to kick off. Let's go ahead and press enter. We would probably need some cones. And then let's do one more, enter. Let's go ahead and put, I don't know, if you're really competitive, how about some cleats? Cool. And you can do that with anything, right? Let's go ahead and make a new list. Let's say we don't like football, we like baseball. All right, go to frisbee, put your cursor right here by frisbee, and then go to on your keyboard, press enter. Now let's go ahead and type in baseball. All right, excellent. Now we need to figure out, we're going to bring a baseball, but do we just want to bring a baseball? Yeah, that would be kind of hard to catch a baseball with our bare hands. So let's figure out the things we need to bring along with a baseball. So with your cursor blinking right there, go ahead and press on your keyboard, enter. Now go over to the tab button, T-A-B, press tab, and now we can do our lists of things that need to go along with baseball. Let's do a glove. We do need a glove. Now, what else would we need if we had a glove? Well, we'd need a bat. What else would we need? How about maybe a baseball hat? And there you go. So those are different ways that you can make lists using bullet points. Now remember, check this out. This is really cool. I have my stars and my circles. Let's say the more I'm looking at this, I don't like the way it looks. It's not my thing, right? Stars, I thought they were my thing, but now they're not my thing. All you have to do is go up here to the upside down triangle, click that, and I want to go to something maybe a little more, less with stars and more circles. So go back up here to circles and watch what happens to my list. Boom, it changes everything. Let's go over here to my arrows. Boom, it changes everything. It's actually really, really cool. Now, one more thing before we move on to our numbered lists. So remember, I'm going to go back up here let's go back up to the stars just to show you. Now remember, I have my stars and my circles. Now look at this. I need to get to that little square. How do I get to that square? Okay, let's say I need to get more detailed, right? Here's my big point, football. Here's my things that need to go along with football. But what kind of cones should I bring? Should I bring different color cones? Let's say yes, I'm going to have two teams, my red team and my blue team. Check this out. Go to cones and click or press on your keyboard, enter. Now go ahead and over to your tab button, T-A-B, press tab, boom. There's my square right there. Now, this is going to be like the really, really small details, right? So I'm going to type in red cones, press enter, and now I need to do blue cones. So now, check it out. Here's my main items. And then my little circles are my second items, right? They go under that main item. So I know all of these things have to do with football, right? It's a really cool way to keep your thoughts organized. And I'm going to show you that at the end when we do like a book report outline. All right. And again, if you don't like the stars, you don't like the way the bullets look, here we go. Upside down triangle. Let's go to my let's go to the squares. Boom. There's my squares. You don't like that? Let's go to my weird diamonds and boom. There you go. So which one should I use though, Mr. Carey? One, your teacher is probably going to give you guidance. Will probably tell you what to use. But again, I would say whatever one is easier for you to use and look at, right? Again, an outline is for you. A list is for you to keep yourself organized. Cool. Let's go down to numbers because numbers are going to work the same way. All right. Let's go and scroll down and we have our baseball hat. Cool. Okay. Now we need to pack our things for the first day of school. Now, again, this is a list I just came up with. We're going to separate these things into a list, and we're going to put a number next to each one of these. Okay, and then we're going to try our different number lists. So again, same thing. Let's go ahead and take our cursor right by backpack. And now we're going to go up to where the number list, right? 1, 2, 3, and then my 3 lines. So go ahead and just click that right now. Look at that. That's pretty cool. It automatically does this. Now, click your cursor over in front of folder, and all you have to do is press enter. Look at that. That's pretty cool, right? Google automatically numbers it for you. It's really cool. So you don't have to type in a list. You don't have to go in 1 period space 2 period space. Let's keep going. Pencils, paper, put your cursor next to paper, press enter on the keyboard, put your cursor over by ruler, enter by ruler, put your cursor over by markers, enter, and over by crayons. Oh, Mr. C made a mistake. Again, I have markers C and then I have rayons. I don't know what rayons are, so clearly I made a mistake, and that's okay. I'm going to go up to undo. Go ahead and click undo. Oh, thank goodness. All is not lost. I'm saved, and I can continue on with my list. And I'm going to click more carefully. Enter. Books. Enter. And then erasers. Enter. So looks like I have 9 things. I think this is a really useful way of numbering, right? You just automatically does it. So that way I know I need to bring about 9 things. Let's go back up here and let's play around with the different number lists. So again, come up to my upside down triangle, and we're going to go ahead and click that. And now we're going to click through all of these, right? Right now, let's go ahead and click the next one. And the only thing it did, right, it just changed the period into a parentheses. Let's go over here, and then it goes back to a period. Let's go over here to A, B in this. Now watch what happens. The numbers turn into letters. Sometimes that may be helpful to you. Some people like to look at letters. Some people like to look at numbers. I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to go back over to the next one, which looks like an I. And actually, these are not I's. These are called Roman numerals. Now, second grade, I do not expect you to know your Roman numerals. But it's the same thing. Let me switch back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's go back over to my Roman numerals. It's the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You'll see a pattern here if you look at it. Again, if Roman numerals that interest you, hey, here's a great way for you to do some other learning on Roman numerals. I'm going to go back over here, and now we can go to another kind of number list, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3. Let's go back up to my regular number list. And now let's do the same thing we did with the bulleted list, right? We're going to figure out, because remember, I come up here and the question is, well, Mr. Carey, I only see 1 and 2. Where are the A's? Where's the B's? Where's the little I's? All right, well, let's figure out where those are. Remember, we're using those as a secondary list, like it's important, but it's under my main thing. Okay, so let's look at what kind of paper would I need? Okay, paper. Well, I'm a real specific kind of guy. What kind of paper do you need me to get? So here we go. We're going to go ahead and click on our keyboard, press enter. Ooh, let's do that again. Look at this. So right now, erasers is number 9. Watch what happens when I press enter in front of paper. Now erasers is number 10. So it automatically knows I'm going to do another number. But here's the thing. We're not going to do another number. On your keyboard, go ahead and press tab, T-A-B. Boom! Look at that. We go into 4, and now it's A. So what kind of paper would we want? Well, if we're just doing regular writing, we need lined paper. I'll just put lined. And then what's another thing? Go ahead and press enter. How about blank? Cool. Let's do one more. I love doing math on this, and this is called grid paper. I call it actually graph paper. It's just what I'm used to, but grid or graph paper for math. So that lets me know, oh, look at that. I need to get paper, but I need to get lined paper, blank paper, and grid or graph paper. And we can do the same thing with books, right? What would we need for books? Go ahead in front of books, press enter, boom. And then once you have that, click press the tab button, boom. And now what kind of books, what would I need to go with books? Well, how about my reading book? What kind of reading book? How about your favorite book? Whatever book you read when you're bored. All right, press enter. Don't forget your bookmark. Bookmark. Cool. And that's really all I need for books, I think, unless you think of some other things. Ooh, pencils. That's a good one. Let's go here in front of pencils, and we're going to press enter, and then we're going to press tab. Now, what kind of pencils would I need? Well, I like using mechanical pencils. And then I'm going to press enter. I like to color with pencils, so I'm going to use colored pencils. And there we go. And if you don't like mechanical pencils, you can go ahead and put, you can just put regular pencils, or how about number 2 pencils. Number 2 is just the lead, not the lead, the graphite that it uses. You don't have to write that. That's just to show you. Right? Now let's go through, back up to our number list, and let's see what it looks like when we change this around a little bit. Let's go over here to the next one where it has in parentheses. Ready? And go. So not much change. It just went from periods to parentheses, which is cool. Let's go over here, and now we have this. Now, this could be kind of confusing for you. Some of you may look at this and go, that totally makes sense to me. Again, it's going to be a matter of personal preference right now for you making lists. Okay, 1, 2, 3. And that's going to be 3.1, 3.2, 3.3, and then paper 4.1, and so on. Let's go over to my favorite, my Roman numerals. And again, the same thing, it just uses A, B, and C. All right. One more thing, and again, like we did, I'm going to scroll up here. Remember how we did football? Remember, most important, the big idea, the second idea, and then the really small details. Okay, let's do that with our numbered lists. So I'm going to go down, and I'm going to type in mechanical, and then I've got some favorite colors of mechanical pencils. I'm really strange. I will only use, I don't know, blue mechanical pencils. Like, they have to be blue. I don't know why. It's my favorite color. So I'm going to go in front of mechanical, and I'm going to press enter on the keyboard, and then watch what happens when I press tab. Boom. It does my really small detail. So I'm going to type in blue mechanical pencils. Cool. And there we go. We can do another list, right? I have erasers. I almost forgot. I need pens too. I like to write in pens. So let's go to erasers, and let's press enter. And I'm going to type in pens. Go ahead and press enter. And then I'm going to press tab. Boom. What kind of pens do I need? Well, I need a black pen. Enter. I also need a red pen for when I do corrections. That's really kind of all I need. So let's go back up here and let's see what that looks like. Now, the cool thing with lists, I can click anywhere and it will change the entire thing. I've been clicking up here on number 1. Watch what happens when I click to number 3 and I click, let me change it back to numbers. Boom, they all change. So look at this. I have my 1, 2, 3, my main ideas. Then I go into my A's, right, which is kind of smaller details. And then I go in here to the really, really small details, right? Pencils, mechanical, blue mechanical pencils. All right. So I promised you all a little example of what we would use this for in like a book report. Okay. You don't have to do this with me. You're welcome to if you'd like. I'm going to go ahead and delete this because I want to start on a fresh page. And I'm going to go, while I'm thinking of this, let's say I want to start fresh, right? I'm done with my list, and now I need to write an actual paragraph. Okay, so watch what happens when I press enter. Okay, Google Docs still says, oh, hey, Mr. Carey, you still want to make a list, right? And no, I don't. So I'm going to go up here. I can just turn this off. Ready? 1, 2, 3. You can do that. If you don't want to do that, you can just press enter, and it will turn it off. Okay, so I'm going to make a new list here. And this is going to use a little bit of what we did last week. And this is going to be like a book report. Let's say I just read a book, which I actually just did read a book. So I'm going to put the title of my book. And before I write the book, before I write the book report, I need to write the title and an outline to get my thoughts in order. Okay, this is a little extra. Again, you're probably like a year or two away from this, but it's good to show this to you, and then we can go from there. So I'm going to type in the title of my book, which is, let me find a book I just read. I've been reading a lot of science books. Let's go ahead and I need to look for a book. And give me 1 second while I look for a book. Okay, so my book that I've been reading is going to be Al Capone Does My Shirts. And that's actually a book I'm reading with my two boys right now. It's a really good book, and I like it. So that's, instead of me writing my book report, I need to organize my thoughts. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to press enter. And I'm going to do it one more time just to have a nice space. Now remember, what did I do here? I used my center align button. Remember, I go up here to center align. If I want it to go to the left, left. If I go to center, center align. Your titles of your outlines or your reports, you always want them to be centered, at least for now. Okay, so I'm going to go down, press enter once, enter twice. Now I want to go back to my left align. Go ahead and click left align. Now here is where we are going to start off my outline. Again, this is a little advanced, but again, I want to show you why lists are so important. So I'm going to start off with my numbered list. That's how I'm going to do my outline for my book report. A good book report or a good essay or report, about 5 paragraphs for now. So I'm going to click this one. And all I'm going to do is type in my introduction. Ooh, I spelled it wrong. Now here we go. Another lesson there. I misspelled introduction. I spelled introduction. Remember, all I have to do, take my cursor, click it, gives me a spelling. Boom. I fixed my spelling error. Introduction. And then in my book, I have 3 parts. So my next paragraph is going to be part 1, part 2, I know I'm going fast. So those are my 5 paragraphs, right? And you don't have to keep up with me. This is just to show you, right? I'm writing a book report. I want 5 paragraphs. My introduction, I'm going to tell you all about the book, right? Just a real quick, this is my book. This is what it's about. It's really great. You should read it. Part 1. These are all the things, right? So that go along with part 1. So let's check this out. I'm going to go ahead and press enter, and then I'm going to press tab. And now I'm going to talk about the things in part 1 that I want to talk about. Moving to Alcatraz. New school, and then let's do new friends and baseball. All right, those are the things that I think are important with part 1. And then you're going to do the same thing with part 2, part 3, part 4, or in the conclusion. Okay. Again, this is a real easy way to do your outlines, and that's just a practical use for using lists, numbered lists, or bullet lists. Okay, if I totally lost you on this, don't worry about it. You're going to get it again next year. You'll get it in 4th grade. You'll get it reviewed in 5th grade. But this is a great way to do your book reports. Okay, that is all for my lesson on how to make lists in Google Docs. If you liked this, give me a like at the bottom. If you didn't like it, before you click that unlike button, just give me a comment or just send me something saying I didn't like this. This wasn't helpful. Could you go faster next time? Could you go a little slower next time? Just give me some feedback so I can make a better, improved lesson for next week. Awesome. If you didn't catch my last lesson on Google Docs, go ahead and click right over here. And if you want to subscribe, click over here. Thanks you all, and I'll see you next time.